Don't forget to check out and grab your copy of our 2 newly released books, Football, a Love Story, and What Did Football Teach Me? These books feature over 100 stories from current and former coaches, players, executives, and entertainers from across the football landscape, describing what got them involved in the game, what they love about it, and what life lessons the game taught them. You can find your copy or order your copy from our website at footballgameplan.com/books. Welcome to NFL Game Plan. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, bring you our Week 7 preview between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Carolina Panthers. And I'm going to be joined by our Football Game Plan analyst, Turron Davenport, Gene Clemons, and also Chris James. But first, let's start this video off by taking a look at my keys to victory. For the Eagles in this ball game, they have to get off the bus ready to play. That almost hurt them last week versus the New York Giants. They started the game slow. They started sluggish. If that happens versus a really good team in Carolina, they could end up getting blown out in this ball game. And I think the biggest matchup that they're going to have to win is their best versus what I think could be a good one for Carolina, the defensive line of the Eagles going against that Panthers offensive front. The Eagles right now have 3 outstanding defensive linemen, and they do a great job in owning the line of scrimmage and clogging up running lanes. And I think that's going to be huge in this game, forcing Carolina to be one-dimensional. If that defensive line can excel like they've done all season long, the Panthers can struggle offensively. And they can't forget that Darren Sproles is a tremendous playmaker. They have to find ways to get him matched up one-on-one versus a linebacker in the passing game and take advantage. And for the Panthers in this ball game, you want to match the Eagles' tempo with your own execution. That's how the Giants got off to a great start versus Philadelphia. That's how the Saints got off to a great start versus Philadelphia. And that's how the Panthers can get off to a great start, both offensively and defensively. If you're executing at a high level, you can get them off the field on third downs. And offensively, you can move the football versus this Eagles defense. And defensively, you have to keep those receivers busy at the line of scrimmage. Right now, the Eagles don't have burners on the outside, so I think the Panthers can get extra aggressive in pressing these guys at the line of scrimmage, which will allow their defensive line to get back there and put Bradford on the ground, and they have to find matchups over the middle of the field. Right now, Philly is banged up in the linebacking core. I think that's where Carolina can attack in their passing game, and if they're able to own the middle of the field, they'll do a great job at moving the football up and down the field versus this Eagles defense. This week versus the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm going to show you how the Carolina Panthers can go empty and be in a great situation to dictate what the Eagles do defensively by just reading the front side of the field. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to declare this the front side of the field. We have the tight end, Devin Funchess, and we also have another receiver out here as well. We want to put Ted Ginn on the backside because we want his speed to threaten these 2 guys to keep them away from where we want to go. And what we're going to do is read 1, 2, 3. You know, and this is a simple front side read. Again, it puts Cam Newton in a great situation. The offensive line has double tight end sets. The reason why you can go empty with Cam Newton is because he is your running back, you know, essentially because normally when you go empty, defensive backs think like, okay, or linebackers think, okay, we can blitz. They don't have a back, it's going to be a pass. But when you have a guy that's mobile like Newton, you still have to honor the run because he is the running threat. So this is why when you have a mobile quarterback, it's great to go empty because you dictate what the defense can do. They have to sit back and wait. So now you're just reading these backers. And what we're talking about backside first before we go front side. And the reason why we have Ted Ginn over here, we're going to utilize his speed to take these guys away. We're going to push up real hard, and he has he's going to have a 2-way go. He's going to either break out down the sideline or break toward the post. He's just reading the free safety in the corner. Either way, he's taking both of those guys away from the play. So now we're just working front side. We're going to have this tight end slow block, and he's going to be a safety valve out in the flat. If this guy drops in zone, he can sit back, no one to block, just drop out into the flat, and that's a check down right there for Cam Newton. You always want to have your built-in check downs in each and every play. We're going to have the same thing here with this tight end. He's going to slow block, wait, boom, he's dumping off as well. So now you have 2 built-in hot reads, 2 checkdowns if these outside backers don't come, if they don't pressure. 9 times out of 10, one of these guys will be coming off the edge, so one of these tight ends will stay in and block. So what you're reading, also the strong safety and how he's going to play. You're going to push Devin Funchess up, and he's going to break in. Why? Because you have this guy working up and come back. So now the reason why I say you're reading the strong safety, if he's buzzing under here, if they're playing cover 3, you know, he's dropping back and he's dropping to the middle of the field. This is where you want to go with the football. If he's following this guy here in man coverage, this is where you want to go with the football. Simple front side read for Cam Newton. He's finding the most optimal matchup for him. We know Devin Funchess with his big frame can easily wall off this strong safety if he cuts it inside. He's playing on the outside of him. So this is a great read, great throw right here. These guys will have to stay at bay because, again, you have the X factor there, a guy that can run in Cam Newton. So one of these guys either is going to come or sit and be a spy. One guy is going to come and drop back in the zone. And so Cam Newton has an easy job because he has that mobility. And I think with the front side read versus the Philadelphia Eagles, it puts the Panthers offense in a great situation to have success in their passing game.
As we open up the Eagles playbook, you're going to see how they're able to dictate in the passing game with formation and motion. You see right here last week versus the New York Giants, at the top of the screen, you have Riley Cooper, who's aligned in between the numbers and the sideline. So that's going to widen out that cornerback and also put that safety in the bind because either he's going to split the two receivers at the top or he has to stay closer to the middle of the field. And the way you can help that out is by motioning that guy coming down the formation. So now that safety has to bump over toward the middle of the field, and you essentially make a zone defense a man defense. And now what you're going to have Sam Bradford do is read the the back side. These two guys running up at the top of the screen, you're going to see him read which one has the better coverage, which one has the better leverage, and he's able to pick and choose where he wants to go with the football. It's a simple read. It's an execution play, and that's exactly what they did there. They took the optimum choice, which is the short dump off over the middle of the field. And again, this could supplement as the Eagles running game if they're not having success moving the football on the ground versus the Panthers. This short passing game can be effective. It'll be death by 1,000 cuts, but it's one way they can help themselves out versus a very aggressive defense in Carolina.
The Eagles at Panthers. Both of these teams coming in riding high. The Eagles moved themselves atop of the NFC East division. My X factor for the Eagles is going to be DeMarco Murray. They need to continue to carry that momentum from the Giants game. Get him the football, but when you get him the football, get him going north and south. Stop having him move laterally. That's not what he does. So X factor is going to be DeMarco Murray. If they could get that running game going, that'll make it a lot easier to get the passing game going. They like to go deep to Riley Cooper. So that's going to be something that they're going to need to establish, running the football, which will hopefully for them loosen up that defense and allow them to do what they have to do, getting the ball downfield. Sam Bradford, when the receivers are open, he has to hit them. He missed a couple open ones last week. Once again, it's becoming a theme. So DeMarco Murray, let him run the football, get that part of the offense going. As far as the Panthers are concerned, really it is Cam Newton that's my X factor, but what they need to do is keep him in the 30 to 35 pass attempt category. This way you're not making him throw the ball 50 times. You're able to find some balance on the offense. Definitely be sure to utilize Cam Newton's strength, run him from time to time as well. He is a dual threat guy, and take advantage of what you have in that quarterback. He's playing at an MVP pace, so Cam Newton is my X factor, and pass attempts allow him to be effective with 30 to 35 passes per game. As far as the actual score of the game itself, I'm going to go with a defensive struggle here. I have the Panthers winning 20-17.
Philadelphia played well last week, got to win. If I'm coaching Philly, I've got to find a way to get more downhill with DeMarco Murray. It's night and day with him going downhill versus east and west. Whenever he's able to square his shoulders up and attack the line of scrimmage, he has success. Whenever he's told to go east and west, he doesn't. So I really want to get him focused on going downhill. For Carolina, that defense has to be ready. They have an athletic defense. They have a leader in the middle, like Luke Kuechly. They have to be ready for that offense. The name of the game is 3 and out in 30 seconds. If they can get Philadelphia to go 3 and out in somewhere around 30 to 45 seconds, that's all the better, because Carolina's offense will look to pound the ball and take time off of the clock, which is going to be better for that defense in the long run. I like Carolina to win this one 24-14.
In a game of contrasting styles in some respects, You have a team that wants to run 90 plays a game in the Philadelphia Eagles traveling to see a team that wants to slow it down in ball control in the Carolina Panthers. Now, for the Philadelphia Eagles, they're finally starting to understand. Don't run him east-west, run him north-south, and that's DeMarco Murray. He's going to get some bulk carries, and even though the Panthers are strong up front, I think they can find a way to get him going and utilize him in the run game. As far as a sit is Jordan Matthews. Inconsistency. He hasn't looked the same since that drop in the fourth quarter against the Falcons in Week 1. As far as a start for the Carolina Panthers, the home team, it's Cam Newton. Again, Cam Newton can take advantage of the fact that the Eagles are missing every middle linebacker that they had on the roster from day one and actually pick them apart on crossing routes and take off for a few runs. As far as a sit, I'm going to sit down Ted Ginn. It seems like he can beat this coverage, but the way I saw that the Eagles were playing defense, they were man up, but they had a free safety about 20 yards back, and that negates Ted Ginn's talent to fly past people. My sleeper here is actually Riley Cooper. He seems to be the receiver who is being found for touchdowns, which is extremely important in fantasy leagues, especially if you're not playing a PPR. Final score here, the better team with the better quarterback wins. I have the Panthers winning 23-17.
I like Carolina in this ball game. Quiet is kept. Both the Eagles and the Panthers have a lot of similarities in what they bring to the table. Both defensive lines are excellent in this ball game, so I think what will happen, you'll see both running games not have a lot of success. So what it will ultimately come down to, which quarterback can you trust to make plays? And when you look at the biggest X factor in this game being Cam Newton's ability to extend plays and do a lot of damage on the ground, I think that will push Carolina over the top at home. And as we recap our picks, we're all in agreement. We're going with the Panthers to knock off the Eagles in Carolina. And we also want to give a huge shout out to Panther fan forums and Eagle fan forums for always showing football game plan support.